here we are. I think I'm on. Everybody's on. We're so excited. Happy May the 4th to be with you. It's going to be a really fun show. We are super happy you're here. Look at this beautiful set.
It's a May the 4th set.
It's the May the 4th set.
Seth has sanitized the set of all non-May the 4th Star Wars
That's right.
content.
And you know what? There's something...
Well, that's not true. I still have the camera over my shoulder. There's
Right.
an old camera here. But actually, that was the guts of that camera were the same guts that was inside of the Panavision PSR camera that actually filmed Star Wars. So the mechanism in that camera,
That's right.
the mechanics that was actually exposed to the film was actually that type of a mechanism. So in truth, everything relates to Star Wars.
You know what? And you don't know how much when you say everything is, because hand me that. I had you made for one of your Christmas. There you go. Okay, we're going to go to my camera.
You're on.
Is this not amazing? That's Todd's cat, Callie, who, if I scare the cat off the bed when I get in it, I get the whole thing. You know, I get the wrath of Todd because his cat got off the bed. And so I had this made at Christmas for him.
But
Is that not
the reason
awesome?
why the cat gets upset. The cat doesn't like any disturbances in the Force. So when the cat is sitting on the bed,
Yeah.
and she's the cat expert, not me. But what I've learned about cats, in this particular cat, they get settled down. Everything must remain calm in the Force. If there are any disruptions in the Force, they're
the
like,
Force,
we're
yes.
out of here.
Exactly.
And they leave. That's the game.
And I get the wrath of Todd. Not the wrath of God, the wrath of Todd. But it's a great photo, and that company, is it paw.com, I think? Yeah, and we'll post it, because if you ever want to get somebody a cool gift, you just send them a picture of the person, like fairly close up, and a picture of the animal fairly close up, and it takes about 2 weeks. It's the best gift ever.
Yeah, and it's printed on canvas, actually, like you can see.
Yeah.
It's printed on canvas.
But look at her. She is your partner in that, and I love it.
Well, the truth is, this is the truth, if nothing else.
Okay.
Dogs are more attentive to humans by far. Cats are like, I don't know if I want to pay attention
exactly.
to you or not right now.
They
it's on my terms, exactly the way I want it, and you're just here to provide services to me. Food,
love,
water,
scratches,
when I want
cuddles.
Only when I want it.
Yeah, only when they want it.
Right.
And what do dogs do when you come home after a long trip?
Oh, they
wag their tail, they bark, they go nuts, they go in circles, right?
You could be gone
they have
for
zoomies.
an hour or 10 years, and they're going to have the same reaction.
And what does a cat do when you come home?
They freeze you out like a convict.
We call it getting the back. Anybody that owns a cat knows what getting the back from your cat is.
Look at that sparkly Star Wars outfit.
It's intergalactic. I just thought that I would dress for the theme.
Is that a two-piece?
Yes,
That's
it is.
really a nice
You're
piece.
getting a lot of compliments on your intergalactic.
Intergalactic.
Yay!
I
That's
was going to wear
awesome.
my Star Wars robe. But in just real quick, a little maintenance here. We have with us
What?
Mr.
Oh, we
Stetson.
have John Stetson with us, who is
I'll go wide and we can
the
just see.
master mentalist, America's master mentalist. And we have...
Put up your guys. I think if you put your hand up,
Put your
we might
pants
see
up.
it.
We might... They're in the backpack.
They're too far back.
And then we have Bob Kohler, and he is an extraordinary magician. He is the magician's magician, mentalist, and he is who we all call when we can't figure something out. And he's the master of that.
And we have Dawn. I can't do either of those things. Dawn's here. Dawn Ferry.
Dawn Ferry is here, and so we kind of have a live audience.
Well, you have Seth as usual. There's Seth is over here.
Half a live audience. How about
where's
that?
Seth? There's Seth. We have
Speaking
Seth.
of half alive, hello.
That's
got
right.
Seth
Then we have
and
Ryan,
Buck.
and we have Buck in the back, and we
yeah,
have
well,
Ryan.
Where is Ryan? Ryan, you going to come up on the
Ryan, make
screen?
yourself known, and Kyle too, if it's possible, so we can have our whole family up here.
We'll just wait.
Okay, but
Are they even there?
Are they there? Oh, okay.
so-
You want to make yourself seen?
I'll do it right now.
Pin yourself there. Oh, hi guys! I miss you. I miss you
All
a
right,
lot.
so there you go. You got the.
Kyle,
Miss you too.
I got to see Kyle's cave in person when I was in Pennsylvania last week. And before we get started with the show, which we're going to do right now, I do want to say, because I have the guys here, I had the best time in Pennsylvania. I think that was the most fun show I've ever had in 15 years. And it was very successful because of you. And I want to thank you for that because many of you came. I had a meet and greet before the show, which I'd never done before. And that was wonderful to meet so many new faces, but to see many of you I've already met. And I just want to say
Keep
that
talking, I'm gonna Irish my
we
camera now.
did this show last year in this beautiful landmark theater there, but it only held about 200 people, and we wanted to get more than that. So we did this show at Ryan's high school, and where Kyle goes and Ryan teaches in Annville, Pennsylvania. Now, that's a small town, Ryan, wouldn't you say?
Oh, very.
Very small town. The most spectacular theater you can imagine. It had almost 900 seats, and
know what turntable
we didn't need that many, but we did have a lot of people, and way more than 200. So what was great was that we had the best. It was
I've
the
never-
best, huge stage, gorgeous projection screen, beautiful red curtains. The tech crew was unreal. There was not one adult overseeing them, not one.
All right, back to Star Wars.
Okay, well, I just want to thank the people because a lot of people bought donation
me know when
tickets.
you're ready.
Okay, I will let you know, and not until then. I want to thank everybody that not only came and bought tickets, but I want to thank all of you who wanted to donate to the cause and bought tickets that we were able to give away to the people who saw a show they shall never forget. And I just want to thank Ryan and Kyle for doing the best tech job. They were plugged in. They had the headsets on, communicating all the way in the back of the theater. Amazing sound, amazing lights. Just tech was amazing, and it was all high school kids, and it is better than any theater that you can imagine. I did not have one glitch. Well, we had one little glitch, but it wasn't them. It was my sound system. And Ryan, nobody even.
The show was great.
The show was so
No,
fun.
We
Yeah.
only knew because we're used to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, nobody
on,
knew.
On to a galaxy far, far
Here
away.
we go. We're on our way. I just wanted to thank everybody back there because you were amazing. And here we go. I'm so excited about this show. We have some good, fun stuff for you. Here we go, Todd. Well, let's go. Shall we go to Seth and let him talk about what is on the auction website right now?
Yeah.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
well, wait, come to me first.
Okay.
So, what we're going to do, we have several pieces of Star Wars related film clips. So some of these we've discussed before that we haven't ever shown. There's some cool stuff, behind the scenes stuff with Lucas and Carrie, Coppola. We have that, right? Don't I, Ryan? We have that clip sequence off the cruise ship. We have that. Anyway, we have some really neat behind the scenes stuff that we've never shown before, and this is all going to be stuff that'll launch up onto the Patreon site. We've also pre-released the Carry On song now on Patreon. And I somebody made a post for us earlier that encouraged people to go there and buy the song, listen to the song, and then give us some comments because we're going to
Buy the song where?
the Carry On
Where?
song, the tribute song on Patreon.
Oh, on Patreon. Cool.
that.
You know what? I'm sorry. I was looking at you and my brain.
Mesmerized.
You know what? I'm not joking because we haven't seen each other in 2 weeks. And so, I was gone.
just
then
trying
you were
to
gone. No,
flatter
I am
me.
not. I missed you. You just got home last night. You passed out immediately after dinner.
Immediately.
And so I was loving on you. I'm sorry I didn't hear you
Okay,
say
so-
it. Patreon. You can
So
get the song.
Right. So all of the stuff we have, for those of you who don't know what we're doing, we're posting archives weekly on Patreon, monthly, a lot of stuff, but even weekly there'll be things coming up. And we've been posting little different shows that we have the rights to and different things that are part of our archives. And the new release of a song that is a tribute song to Carrie and my mother, written by Greg DeFria, myself, Henry, but lyrics with Carrie and I from when we were in our 20s. Really a cool song. The actual voice messages of Carrie and my mom woven into the song. So that song has been released only on Patreon. We played segments last week, little pieces of it, and we also played a behind-the-scenes making of that included Dean Castronova as the lead vocalist.
I was there. My jaw was on the floor because his vocals are so amazing. I think he is more Steve Perry than Steve Perry is.
Oh yeah, I mean his range is
Yeah.
Now he can do.
But he's also one of the nicest guys
He is,
I have ever
but
met.
he can do different things. But obviously he's a perfect mimic of that. But his range is shot. It's like whoa.
And he's the drummer for Journey right now and
Yep.
has been for years. And he does step in and sing songs. If you go to YouTube and put Dean Castronovo in there, there's lots of videos of him singing and playing, with the band Journey. And but truly one of the nicest non-ego people I've ever met, which makes him even more incredible.
More interesting.
Yes.
Anyway, there's a video that we ran last week when Greg was on the show and
Yeah.
you weren't here. That showed us making the recording, and that will be, that is or will be, or is posted.
Is it on Patreon?
posted.
Is posted now.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, if you look behind you, we have the Patreon up for the folks who want to see what it'll look like.
That's what the Patreon page looks like when you find it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
let's see
how
what you
do
got
they
there.
find it? How do you find
if
it?
you go
Patreon.
to our YouTube page, the link is right there at the top. It says right under Cat and Todd Live. It says patreon.com. It's
Yep.
a link, and you just click that link. It'll take you right there.
And what if they're not on our YouTube page and they're watching us on Facebook?
If they go to patreon.com and they type in behind the stage doors, and it'll come up.
Okay, so that is how you
Now
do
let's
it.
just see what's there. So, forgetting that, like go inside of something so I could see some of this
So
stuff.
go
we were
into
just
a
talking about.
module.
Now I'm bringing this up. Okay, so there is the behind the scenes. Oh, well, that's the thing we're about to run. Now that's the full length behind the scenes of the cruise ship stuff with Lucas and Carrie and Coppola, and that's Candice Bergen and Carrie. There's the song "Carry On" right there. And then next to that is a pre-release of the whole video. So it's audio only available, and then the video and the audio. Now coming back to me, the video is a rough cut to go with the song. I'm going to be working on a final version of that, but I didn't want to have the music. Sometimes people don't, these days, people are programmed to listen to music with visuals. So there's a beautiful little montage that goes with the Carry On song, but it's not a final cut. But it is a well-done piece, and it has all very unusual footage, a lot of shots that I took of Carrie and my mom, and other things that I didn't take because I would have been 2 years old, and as much as I would have liked to. You can see here also we've got the Donald and Debbie full-length show up
Oh
there.
my gosh,
which
that
is a great
is
show.
amazing.
Now,
yeah.
as part of the membership, you can view a lot of this stuff. Some of the things we're going to put up are sort of a pay-per-view thing. So most of the stuff, if you buy the higher level membership, are
Which is the higher level membership is $9.99. So
is it that much? I don't know. Is it $8.99?
Isn't it?
I think it's $9.99.
and then the one below that is $6.99, I think.
believe
yeah.
so.
So it's $6.99 a month or $9.99 a month, but you get really cool content and most stuff
Well,
I've
you're
never
going to
seen
get
before.
exclusive
Yeah,
content,
exclusive,
and on top
yes.
of that, when we run something on this show, you're not going to want it. You can't run, a big chunk. You have to sort of pare down what you're running, not to put everybody to sleep. As it is, our shows run into the marathon levels.
Yes.
So we put the full-length versions and cut-down versions, so you'll have your options
Right.
that you wouldn't get. But I think for some of you, watching a full-length arc of a particular subject is really fascinating. I mean, I've found things that even I was loved to watch because I was getting such an amazing snapshot of sort of life with Carrie and Debbie, so to speak. I mean, even more so, Bright Lights is a manufactured version of that, but these are things along the journey, real life things, and they speak for themselves. So there will be a lot of stuff that we're going to be posting like that. But then there's other things that are actual content where it was produced as completed content. A show that we shot many years ago, we're going to release on Patreon, was a show that was going to be called Magnificent Obsession.
Yes.
And it stars my mother talking about her collection. It's a really neat piece. That will be exclusive to Patreon. We're going to re-release the Nightlight shows. For those of you, I produced a Christian satire show back in the early 80s, which is where we met.
Yep.
And that show is a very interesting show early in my career, but also a really fun show poking fun at religion. Very pro-God, anti-religion.
Right. Well, it's a very fun page, our Patreon.
Right, and I don't want to get too far off in it. The page is important for today because the Carry On song is there for the first time.
Right,
and
in its
I think
entirety.
it's well worth.
Oh,
for those of you that like
great.
music,
Yep.
especially 70s music. Me, there was a big hole in the road in the 70s, and I got stuck in it. And that's still my favorite music.
I'm stuck in the 80s as well. And Ryan is stuck in the 80s.
Well, I like all kinds of music.
Yeah,
but
I do too, but
the stuff
70s and 80s.
I really like.
Well, let's get real. 60s, 70s, 80s.
Well, 60s, of
The
course.
60s is like where I'm totally stuck.
But I was actually producing, and you were too in the 70s. We were actually producing music. And so when it comes time to sort of produce something, that's what we did. You'll hear your very traditional 70s sounding song here. And we have more songs to follow, but none that are going to be more on topic than this. For today, this is about Star Wars and Carrie and all that. And so the song is Carry On.
So, real quick, I'm
I
going to
want
have...
comments from people, please.
Oh, yes,
People
yes,
are
let us know.
People are commenting.
They've
about
heard
the
it, I
song.
mean.
Yes, some people have heard it
Well,
already.
then let's
So
hear
before
from
we
you.
get to the show, let's go ahead and also tell people what's on the auction
Can
site.
I hear, though, about
Yeah,
what
of
they're
course.
saying?
Which one do you want
Wonderful.
first?
Excuse me, Howard.
Hello, everybody. I am Han Solo's stepmother, I think, in this outfit. Someone told me it's
She
very...
ran away when she saw you.
Someone told me it's very Star Wars-esque. and I
It
didn't
is.
even
It's got the right
I
shirt.
didn't realize that.
All right, what are people saying?
Okay, so let me pull up the comments on my end right here. So Diane Vogt says she loves it. It's very haunting. Paula Mickle says it's such a beautiful way to honor not only Carrie, but Debbie also, to have their voices come through. Not only gave me goosebumps, but it's almost as if they were calling in from the other side. Todd, these lyrics are beautiful, and I can't thank you and Kat enough for sharing this beautiful video with us.
Okay, so that's what I was kind of looking for, and I really want to hear from everybody because we've been sitting on this song for a while, not knowing when and how to release it. So we made an executive decision to go ahead and launch it this way to our people that we know will like it, but also, hopefully get response from you guys and figure out how to get it
Well,
out.
we make this show for you, so we want to always hear from you about things, and then we know that we're pointing in the right direction for you because we don't do this for ourselves. And of course, everything that we do here is it goes towards the production of this show and also our legacy project. So we appreciate you. Thank you for all of you who are donating right now. Thank you, and make sure you watch the crawl at the end of the show. Seth, take it away from the auction site.
Well, I just wanted to let some people are also asking about if they can just stream the song, and the answer is yes. The song you can just pay for it once, and you'll be able to play it as many times as you'd like on our Patreon site. And then as far as the auction stuff today, well, it's not less of an auction, more of just purchasing we have available since it's May the 4th in honor of Carrie on the Debbie Reynolds Studio Store.com. You can purchase these items that are very rare and I mean really one of a kind, especially things like these. We have everything from two Carrie checks available that were actually signed in 1977 in September, right around the time Star Wars came out. So that's really neat. And then one of them comes with our Star Wars envelope sets, which are really neat, which are also on the site available.
And they're all
as one-offs.
character from the post.
Do we have any of this? Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
if
we
you
go.
wanna- if you
We'll
pull it up
show
on
it to
there,
you
it's
on the
easier to see.
You
screen.
can keep talking. We're looking
and
at
So
stuff.
those are collectibles, and you get all 16
Now
or
wait,
17?
this is stuff that's up there right now.
No,
right?
but I just want to say that you can't buy these anywhere in their
No.
entirety like that I am
You
aware
can't
of.
buy
No,
them
you
anywhere.
can't.
You can buy
Period.
one or two here and there, but this is the entire collection, and each envelope has the Star Wars character on it and a matching stamp, and they came
And
out
they're real U.S. stamps.
absolutely.
It's like 06 or 7 or something.
Oh,
But
07.
anyway, that is the story on the envelopes. They're
Yes,
amazing.
And I mean, things as I can see on the site from here are already sold out.
Okay.
We have a cross pin that was given to Carrie, a Star Wars cross pin,
Mm-hmm.
and a notebook that's already sold out. One of the signed Star Wars posters is already sold out. We have a signed check up there with a Carrie Leia action figure that's still up. And then a Carrie signed check with the envelopes is still up. Oh, and the other poster sold as well. So
Now, I got to tell you, these posters, it's impossible, obviously, to get Carrie to sign anything. And I'll just say this about these posters. I didn't get a chance to pitch them, but these are actually, I sat there when she signed these. We were sitting in her bedroom, and I had a stack of like 10 posters at the time, which was like the unbelievable score. And I had been collecting them for a long time. And I was getting them for the museum for a couple of different display areas, and I actually had her sit down and sign them. And she starts signing away, and so pretty soon she starts signing different things. And I was like, no, just your name. Carrie was always trying to say something different and everything. So these and one of them was signed by the Ewok too, or were they both?
They were both signed by the Ewok.
So
the Ewok.
And if you look over Todd's shoulder, that's the same poster actually that you can frame, and it frames beautifully.
Oh yeah, it's right behind you.
And
we have Chewbacca here. Oh, I wanted to tell you too that if you just want to buy the song, you can do that. You don't have to join to buy the song. It's $3. Also available on that same page, I believe. I want to make sure.
It
okay.
is. Patreon.
All right. So
now I want to
that's
explain that too. The reason why it's there is we don't know how to protect this stuff properly. So by doing it on the Patreon, there's some watermarking and stuff, so we can protect the song better, because we're not experienced record company people and know how to protect the rights of this. But there are obviously music and lyric rights and performance rights that need to be protected. So that's what you're really paying for. Nobody's obviously getting rich at $3, but it's intended though maybe to get out to a lot of people. I mean, I'd love to see this become a popular thing because I think it's really. As I forget who was talking about the voice messages are haunting. Or
Diane Vogt.
Whatever. I mean, it is like when you hear their voices. Hello, Todd. My mother used to talk like that.
Well, but
this
because
is your mother. Such classic Debbie communications.
Well, tell
like
them
from
though
the other side.
how their voices are on there. Both
Right.
of
Well,
them.
they were my last voice messages. In fact, I have them. In my phone still.
I have mine from your mom too.
And I
have Carrie's texts and email. So I did save as many as I had in there. Of course, we didn't know they would be gone. So, I was so happy to have something. Let's see. Your mic's on the other side. There you go.
How come I can't hear it? Why isn't it on speaker?
I don't know. But we're going to get on with the show soon because we have so much to canvas. There it is.
Or something and do the Today Show in the morning.
So what I'm going to do here, just to show you where I got this stuff, this is Carrie's.
Todd, I'm sorry to call so late. It's ridiculous, but we can have the party on the 18th, which is Saturday night. I have to leave the next morning at ridiculous or something and do the Today Show in the morning. But fuck it. All right.
Whoops.
Now, what I did, obviously I can't use all of that in context of the song. But
and we couldn't bleep that out.
But the thing that Carrie just said at the end there, F it, is such classic Carrie commentary. So that's in the song, whether you like it or not, too bad. But also in there, she says, hey, Todd, sorry to call so late. Now, I just took that moment of that message and I extracted it. But, now here's the Debbie part of the equation.
Hello, Todd.
Wait, I'm so bad at this. I'll do it again. I hit the screen.
Hello, Todd. This is your mother. We are having such a good time in this building where we never were.
Anyway, once again, there's a long message there, but I wanted the classic line, hello, Todd, this is your mother. I have heard that line a million times, right?
Yep.
And as if we don't know who it is on the phone. Carrie and I we're going way back, we would say, why does she do that? I mean, it's not like we don't know our mother's voice. We were listening to it before we even came out of the womb.
Oh, it's classic.
So it's classic Debbie stuff. Anyway, that's woven into the song. You'll hear that in the bridge. And the lyrics of talking about my mother and or in the bridge, the choruses are also lines that Carrie and I wrote together many years ago, and I found some handwritten notes and stuff. So really the lyrics are by Carrie and I, but also Henry helped me edit everything into a cohesive actual context of a song, and the music was done by Greg and I, and so it's a really special little song. Anyway, it's Star Wars related, and Carrie's in it, and it's a tribute to Carrie, and you'll see visuals that relate to Carrie. So I encourage everybody to watch that. Listen to it or watch it.
Well, speaking of the song, did you want to run a little teaser
I do.
of the clip?
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The keyword.
Yeah. In fact, what I will do if I need you to, I would like to run a piece and talk about it. We're going to run the intro up to the first verse, go through the first So we're going to go verse, chorus, stop. Then I'll talk about the Debbie part. We'll go verse, chorus, stop. Talk about the Carrie part. We'll go break it up like that. So you guys get to hear the song for free here in little pieces, and I'm going to talk about it. I can't just freewheel it on the YouTube channel because it's unprotected. So we're going to do it in pieces, but it's also a way to get my commentary. So there you have it. Roll them, Jake. Obviously, that's Carrie and my mom. Okay, so that's first verse, first chorus. That's Henry and I, by the way, doing the Dreaming of You. We did that as a scratch track, and we talk about this in the behind-the-scenes video, which is also posted. And we weren't intending to necessarily keep it, but it sounded good. So we were kind of like, why redo something that actually works well? So that's the first verse, and obviously it's talking. I'm talking about My Girls, which was the name of the book, and then Dreaming of You was an interview I did where I talked about how they visit me in my dreams, and that's how these lyrics evolved into this. Now the second verse is about Carrie, and it talks about her having many faces and swallowing a lunar pie, which I've discussed, where it means code for dropping acid, and streaming conscience made bright lights. Because we talk about how her consciousness, if you watch the movie Bright Lights on HBO, you'll see Carrie freewheeling big time in that documentary. It's fascinating. And she wrote into the night instead of rode into the night. So that's what you're about to hear. We're going to play that, and we're going to stop again, break it up here, but you'll at least get to hear it. I hope most of you go over and listen to this, but here we go. Okay. All right, so we're not going to go now. Can you skip forward, scroll? Because I'm not going to go any further on the Carrie one. There's a lot there, and I'm not going to play the voice message thing. You could talk to me out loud. What is your feelings here?
No, I don't have my mic on.
She doesn't have her mic on. Oh, well, why would we have a mic on?
Sorry about that.
You turned yourself off. Yeah. Anyway, we obviously have copyright problems here if we stream the whole thing.
That's why I don't want you to do even as much as that, because it's just...
You think that's enough for the night?
Absolutely, because I don't want to have the problems or get, be flagged, because this is a special show.
You're not going to get flagged.
And I don't want the show to, because
It's
we
not
have
about-
so much to do.
In this case, this is our thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to get flagged. What is going to happen, though, is someone could steal something, which is obviously what we don't want. We want to control this clearly.
Yeah.
Is there how about the very end, what we'll call the tag? So you could. I'll tell you visually where you are. Let me see. Yeah, so it would be before that. Back up a hair. Let's just play just for a second. Let me see where you are. You can play it. Okay, so this is the fade. Just let it go there. No, that's fine. That was fine. Just play it from. fade out at the very end of the song. Okay, I don't want to obviously give too much, but I want to give too little either. I mean, I want people to get a feel for the
I'm just
coolness.
worried about other things that, because this show, if it gets taken down, we have
Why would you?
have so many.
Why would you? Every bit of this belongs to us.
I know it does, but you're worried about,
I'm worried about the wrong people stealing
That's
it. Not,
exactly
not,
right.
I'm not worried about the site.
So I'm just being protective because it's been a long journey.
A lot of
for
work
this
to
song.
produce.
Yes,
And I want, and I think hopefully there's a lot of Debbie Carey fans out there that will take the time to listen. You don't have to do it right this second.
Yeah.
But I encourage you to take the time to listen because it's really a special little piece, and to hear their voices as you just did. Now I played you my voice measure because that's I had to take those measurements. Greg and I last week talked about this. One of the most difficult things about the album was actually taking those voice messages and using them in the song where you could still hear them properly while all this elaborate orchestration was going on around it. It was very complicated. It was the most difficult thing. Had to be equalized just a certain way so you could still hear what they were saying and still have the orchestration. Because as you probably know, when you listen to music, sometimes it's very, very simple music, easy to hear the lyrics around it. But in this case, when it gets into that bridge there, it's full orchestration. You've got the Hans Zimmer samples with beautiful strings and everything going on. All right. So having said that,
All
we're
right.
done with the
So
song.
we are going to do us a little.
huh? We got a lot
Yeah,
of Star
so we
Wars
have
stuff.
to get on with the show, which I'm really excited about. But the show and tell is really fun for them. So I would like to do that because we have up here some really cool items.
This is Kat's water glass, and she brought it here. And look, it comes with
Lipstick.
her lipstick on here, and I'm going to use the other side so that I don't have to taste that.
That's right.
We will ship it with the DNA
tastes-
still on the
With the
cup.
DNA testing.
Exactly.
All right, so we should do what I've done is we've put out on the set things we don't normally have on a set. If you look behind me, maybe Dawn, would you think you could operate that? We have a close-up camera.
We have a camera person on the big cam.
So what's behind me, which is never usually here, is Carrie's little white dress. Now we have Carrie's cutout there too, and then you'll see her actually in the dress. There's the dress. So we're going to go ahead and cut to the close-up camera, and there it is with me. So there's Carrie's little. There's Carrie's little white dress, and of course she's wearing it, in the cutout, which is kind of cool. And then the same outfit. All of a sudden you get to see it up close, which is kind of special. And you'll notice sitting here is her script also.
Which script is that?
This is the script, the first Star Wars. It goes with the dress. You can zoom in on this one, Dawn. I know we can get in close. What's cool about this, my mother had these bound for Carrie. Carrie didn't, she threw them in the trash when they were done. And then Debbie dragged them out of the trash can and sent them over to George and had him sign them to Carrie. Now, they also put pictures in here. I got it. Sorry about that. I got it.
You're galactic too. I couldn't see it from far off.
You what?
You're galactic.
Galactic too. I couldn't see it from the
Oh, you mean because of the...
jacket.
Right. Well, I'll get into the jacket also. So here is the inside. So zoom in on that as tight as you can onto the signature there. Focus that up. You'll see that. There you go. So, early on, he said to Carrie, with much love, George. And of course, and this is, you see these are serial numbered scripts. And anyway, this is an original one of Carrie's scripts. And there were a couple that we used on the set. There was another one as well that I'm aware of that we have. Or actually, who has it is Dennis King, her business manager. So the Star Wars script is a pretty important thing. We have all three of her first scripts bound just like that. I didn't bring them all out, but it's something to see at some point. And so Dawn brought up the jacket. Now you say it's galactic. Is it galactic? No, these are... No, but these are... Oh, you mean it's sparkly. I see. Carrie gave me this coat, so I wore it in tribute also to Carrie. This was given to me about a year before she died, maybe a little more. And I also wore... Go close on this watch here if you can, Dawn. Cut to the watch. Buck, close-up camera. My hands can't reach it. If I'm going to... There you go. So before any of us had any money, this is right during Star Wars, Carrie had gotten a little bit of money, like just a paycheck for working on Star Wars. And she bought this for me in England. It's a gold. It's not overly fancy, but it's a beautiful little wind-up gold watch. And she gave this to me, so it's special because it was really one of the first. I don't get a lot. You can cut out. I don't have a lot of jewelry. Certainly wouldn't buy her jewelry, but she, I don't like jewelry, so no one's going to buy me jewelry. But the watch was a cool thing, so that's a Carrie gift. We also brought up on stage. I'll stay with the close-up here so you can see it. And you've seen her wear these on camera a lot.
Oh, yeah.
These are the classic Carrie glasses. I don't know.
Are they prescription? I think.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, man.
They're strong. That's right.
Now, that's weird because,
You can see?
no, I can't see at all.
Oh, you didn't know? Yeah. I put
No,
a
I
pair
mean
of her
at all.
glasses on before, and it was strong.
They're strong.
Yeah.
At any rate, these are her favorite little glasses. She had a few pair. I don't. That's I have to put on other glasses to see who they're made by. Now, none of this is. Oh, these are Fendi's, of course. Anyway, so these were hers. We have a few of Carrie's glasses, pens, things like that. And if we ever have any extra stuff, then we do sell it. This is a cool item. This is the Venus, famous Venus statue. Yeah, Venus de Carrie statue. Go to the close-up. Yeah, so you see it's going real close on that. I'll hold it against my black shirt. Go on ahead. You go on in all the way. Yeah, there you go. So you could see it's got the Star Wars head on a Venus, statue. So this is a super famous statue where's Rome or Italy or maybe it's Greece. I don't even know where that is. At any rate, wherever that original one is, and they stuck it on. Yeah, they stuck it on Carrie, on the body, on the head, etc. It's kind of cute.
Is that one of the things she talked about in the George Lucas roast when she thanked him for making her into a...
Well, yeah, we did post the other day the George Lucas roast, which I think is one of the most amazing roasts ever on a person. It goes down in history, and George thought it was pretty funny too. But of course, famously in there, Carrie says, George has owned my name and likeness for so long that every time I look in the mirror, I got to send him a couple of bucks. So it's a funny routine where she kind of breaks down how George Lucas ruined her life. And, she's saying it facetiously, of course. And he did change and ruin her life.
But in a beautiful way.
In a beautiful way.
But what's great, one of my favorites is when, she talks about that it hurt. There's a head Pez dispenser with Princess Leia, and the candy comes out of her neck. I love when
she says not very many mothers, have the ability of their daughter to have a Pez dispenser and rip their mother's head back and pull a wafer out of their neck. And, she breaks down some funny stuff. But there was, the shampoo bottle, lather up with Leia. There was a lot of stuff made that takes it to a whole nother level. Before I continue with show and tell, is there any video stuff we want to run? Maybe it's time.
Whatever you'd like to do. We do have more video clips.
I think it's time to break up the monotony.
Let's go to the videotape.
It's always time to break it up.
Well, I guess the first thing we should run kind of in unison, what do they call that? Numerical order, maybe, is we have Carrie's first ever screen test for Star Wars.
Oh, we
that
should
she
run
did.
that.
Yeah.
So we
Let's
have
do it.
that and to the
There's
to the camera.
I love that picture that she signed to us there.
We
of
can
the
we
bikini.
can show that.
Yeah, it's in the. I see it on the monitor.
Right. So it says 4 Tawfish, which that's me, Carrie's nickname for me, and then Cat. Wish you were here. I love you, baby. And so that, as for those of you who don't know, and I know most of the experienced viewers know the story, Tawfish was my nickname or code that Carrie used to talk to me. If she says Todd, it was just because it was like expeditious. But if she was trying to be sort of write something or be nice, she would always say Tawfish. And where that came from is my Chinese maid / nanny, whatever, housekeeper that worked for us for many years was Mrs. Yang. Mrs. Yang couldn't say Todd, only Ta, no O's. So it was Tawfish instead of Todd. So knock on the door, Tawfish, tandigiri up for school. Now Carrie had to listen to that for years. Knock, 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 Tawfish, tandigiri up for school. So it got in her head, so she would call me Tawfish, and I called her because she couldn't say Carrie. So with Callyfish, tandigiri up for school. So she would, a lot of times, you'll see Carrie sign a letter to me, Callie. And that's why we named the cat Callie Fish. So you've heard the history of my life in words. Moving right along to the clip, off we go. This is Carrie's, this is important because this is Carrie's, here we go, live. Playback.
Am I out of your shot? It's okay. Go lead if you want to. Okay.
19 years old.
All the data banks in R2 are still secure.
Well, and I think we ought to have the reward you were talking about. And I hope it'll be substantial, considering what we've been through already.
When R2 has been safely delivered to my forces, you get your reward. You have my guarantee.
What's the little droid carrying that's so important?
The plans and specifications to a battle station with enough firepower to destroy an entire system. Our only hope in destroying it is to find its weakness, which we will determine from the data I stored in R2. But we captured the plans in a raid on the Imperial shipyards. But we fell under attack before I could get the data to safety, so I hid it in this R2 unit and sent him off.
And where are you taking us now?
Fourth moon of Yavin.
Fourth moon of Yavin.
I've given the coordinates to Chewbacca.
You have. Don't you understand? They let us go. They're going to follow us. They want to find your hidden bases. They're going to destroy the entire system.
I know they'll follow.
You know.
And they'll bring the Death Star. But our only hope is to destroy it before it destroys us. But hiding is useless now. With the Death Star, they'll continue to go on destroying systems until they found us. We have no alternative but to process the information and use it while there's still time.
Not much of a reading partner. It's like reading to the wall.
That's Harrison
Carrie
Ford.
Fisher
I
and
know he's not very good at it.
Well, it was good word when it counted.
No, it was funny because he's not, you know, he's. Are you going to switch there, Buck? Or are we staying on playback? There you go.
Oh, man.
Harsh.
Yes.
No, it's not. So, you know, you could see there, of course, that, by the way, you've done that before, you know, where you go to a reading and the guy you're reading with is really not giving him much energy because it doesn't mean anything, right? So, like, when I was watching this, first time I was, of course, just watching Carrie and all that. And then I was like, God, the guy she's reading with, he's really not putting much energy. And I realized who it was. Like, you're not, you don't even care. Because at the time, Carrie doesn't have the part. You know, it's just one of 25 girls in the afternoon that he's had to draw. Maybe it's a second callback, let's just say. But even at that, there's, you know, we're not getting a whole lot of energy into his side of the role. It's what I call flat reading. Anyway, that's fun as well.
Notice that they said Carrie's British accent is still very interestingly present.
Yeah, you know, it was funny because she hated that later. You know, she had been in the London Dramatic Academy school. And, you know, she was like, you know, they had her speaking proper English is the way she put it. And, of course, us Americans, you know, we don't think about all that. But she actually had learned all of these grammatical games even to play, where it almost made you speak with the English accent on it, and you could hear her here, you know. I think she thought, since I'm playing royalty, I'll give it a little accent. But what I like to tell the story here is that, you know, that what you're seeing there is sort of the beginning of what becomes Princess Leia, which is a fun thing to see, you know, before it really was. But you're also seeing the attitude, which is what George loved about Carrie early on, is she had this sort of, you know, I guess you'd call it ballsy. What would you call it?
Oh, I don't know. I think that's a good word.
Because she, you know, she's a tough. My mother, of course, was her example, and my mother trained her to be sort of a Beverly Hills princess, but also a woman that really stood up for herself. And really, nobody messed with my mother ever. As I've told stories of her actually punching men in the face, you know. So if you were rude or did something, she'd really come at you. And some of that kind of went down to Carrie. Carrie, you know, wasn't like as physical as my mother by any means, but she had double the edge.
You know, I've only seen your mom take some swings a couple of times. Thankfully, not in my direction.
She hit the nurse once.
Well, she was not in her right mind though, because she
No,
had
but
had
it
a
doesn't
stroke,
matter.
and she was,
that was
you
her
know,
way. When she got frustrated, like at the level, as it would start to move up the meter, a certain point we're in swinging range.
think about how interesting that is, because she literally was out of her mind because she had had a stroke and all her wiring came apart, so her wires weren't firing, and she didn't know who she was. She had to learn how to write again and all that. That's when that happened. But when she took a swing at one of the nurses, I think, and she bit a couple of times, and you know, it was like it wasn't her, but it's interesting because subconsciously she still had the knowledge that she knew how to take a swing, because
No,
she could swing as good as any
The
man I've
instinct-
ever
the
seen.
well, she had brothers and uncles, and,
Yeah.
and she was always
And she was a tomboy.
and
Yeah.
the only girl, so she had to stick up for herself. But
Yeah.
the moral of the story is she handed down a lot of this stand up for yourself. You know, a woman is not any different than a man in terms of rights, and you know, in the 60s especially, you know, women were messed with differently, and men felt sort of entitlements and cheating on women and getting away with things or talking down to women. My mother never tolerated any of that, and if you were to talk down to her and get caught, you're going to get bit. And Carrie, you know, grew up around all that, so you know she's got that edge. You see the way she's talking in this interview; she's got that edge about her, and the edge is what got her the part. You know, they wanted a princess that was capable of running the planet, the force, you know, and you needed the person that could be in charge as a woman. And I got to give George credit, you know, long before any of this was, you know, something, the men were in charge of the galaxy, you know, forever. And so he puts a woman in the story right off the bat that's going to eventually be, you know, running the galaxy. And I think it's an interesting, and he chose Carrie to do it. So George, I appreciate that. Good eye. And
she was great in the part. In fact, I can't even think of anybody else
no, at
that
this
would
point, it's
could
a
play
done
that
deal.
part like she did.
Do you
know?
have the ship ready?
Sure, we have that one, and we have the Griffin done.
Okay, no, the ship. Because the ship, we're going to show you some footage of Carrie and George behind the scenes fooling around, literally. And you're going to see something that nobody has ever seen that I'm aware of, which is George Lucas laugh. And Carrie always used to tease him because he never even changed expressions.
Yeah. No, it was very dry.
We would
Yeah.
tease him so that we could see him change his expression. But you'll see her, she's the only one that could get him to do this.
Right.
And it's really a special moment, you know, and you'll see Francis Ford Coppola looking very dapper. This was on a Paul Allen birthday party where he had rented the Crystal Harmony cruise ship and sent us all launching up to Alaska for one mission particularly, which was to see the Aurora Borealis and chase the Northern Lights, just because Carrie wanted to see the Northern Lights. So we rented a giant cruise ship and chased the Northern Lights. Primarily, that was one of the reasons. But we had a big birthday party for him. Little Feat was the band, so you'll see some of the Little Feat people. We're not going to run the whole thing.
The whole thing is on.
The whole thing is on Patreon. And by the way, watching the whole thing is a who's who of who.
Oh yeah.
You're going to see people that were invited to this party that you would not normally see. But as we're running it, I'll talk a little bit if I don't want to interrupt it, but you're going to see a lot of really cool people. It's really much on topic, though, with the Carrie thing that we just watched, because now you're going to see Carrie with George and the behind-the-scenes relationship that they had. Let's do it. That's the
It's
Crystal
still,
Harmony.
it just freaks me out that someone has so much money that they can rent the entire Crystal Harmony ship for their birthday party
Without thinking about it.
without other passengers on board except your guests.
Buck, turn up the playback fader. It's the third one.
What's happening here? There you go. Candace Bergen.
good transfer.
I had to go to video after that. I was just looking for a still, that's all.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was a flummox still. Oh look, we're docking.
Let's see if I can do anything about that. Yes, we are. I'd say being a captain in a small boat with all this group is good.
Mom was shouting instructions to me.
Wait a minute. When did that happen? What happened?
That's Ed Bagley,
Carrie was very
Jr.
angry with me.
Damn it. Why did you bring up on poor Ed?
Yep.
Jesus.
A little bit too much info. Remember the famous Booyah Drive, right? Banger.
Come on, get to the beat, guys. You're off the beat.
Look how tall he is. I mean, I know Carrie was tiny, but that's, you know.
Okay, so there you go.
So the whole thing that is on Patreon.
You coming back, Buck, or we just staying in the black?
That was just a bit of it. So that's a fun video.
Well, what? I hope you didn't post the one with all the shaky stuff on.
No, it didn't do. I don't know why.
Okay, so anyway, the shaking you're seeing is actually not there. It
No.
is just in our playback here.
Yeah.
But the actual video is old video, but it's still, you know, clear enough. But the shaky stuff's not there. So the entire video is way longer than that, and you'll see a lot more of that kind of thing. And that's on the Patreon site in its full length. But you can watch what we just saw, obviously, if you enjoyed that. But it's kind of fun to see them in their
Natural
well,
habitat.
casual habitat. Like
Yes.
everybody is. I mean, you could see Robin Williams there. I mean, he's just totally laid back. You know, you see him doing the Darth Vader sound effects, you know, over the top of Carrie when she's humping
yeah.
George.
Oh my God.
What's going on? What am I supposed to say?
Well, it is what's going on, yes. Whew. Okay, this is the first time I've ever seen footage of him laughing. So
Well, that's
you know.
what my point was.
Yeah.
I think it is actually the only footage anywhere of George actually laughing, and maybe it just took that to make him laugh. But he never laughed again after this, as far as I know. But you know, George is funny with that.
No, I think he probably left when he sold everything to Disney and he got the check. I'm thinking that was a
belly laugh.
I would hope so. Yeah.
I don't think so, though. To be honest with you, I can tell you that in many ways he's not happy with what happened because.
I know.
You know, Disney turned into a company that was not what we all remember. I think he thought he was selling the franchise and it would be in good hands to a company. And there were people in the day and also in the later day that would have been in good hands, including our friends, such as Gary and people like that. This is Jane's husband.
Yeah.
Those people would have been in good hands. But if you talk to anybody that was former management at Disney, and you talk to anybody that remembered, of course, Walt Disney and the family,
Yeah.
They would not be happy. I could say this without any hesitation. They would be very unhappy with what happened and the way they have taken that company, down, literally. And George would. I think when they were making the deal, the company was at a different level, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. But I know in retrospect, it's not a good thing.
But you're speculating, of course. You know
I'm
what
speculating,
I mean?
but
Yeah.
I know more than most, and based on my information, no, I'm not really speculating because I knew Walt Disney. I mean, I got to meet a lot of these people, and my mother was friends with him, you know, and these people, you know, were not current Disney people, and the philosophy that has been adopted by the current Disney management is not the philosophy of Walt Disney. He'd be horrified. He'd fire every last one of them, I guarantee you, with my life, I guarantee it. And I could move down to other management and say the same thing. And I don't care who's offended by this, because this is the reality of it. That's his company. He founded it. They should have stuck with the program. They would have been better off sticking with the program, and to try to morph a company like that into something else is a mistake. And George, I'm sure, is horrified that he just turned over a most brilliant franchise in science fiction history to a bunch of yahoos. And that's what it is.
Okay, well,
but other than that, I love them.
Let me just say this. I
can't
didn't.
recover
I
from
had
that.
never seen. No, I
She's
had
gonna
never.
try to recover.
No, I'm not.
I
gonna,
didn't leave you any
I'm
ground.
not. I don't care. I agree. I absolutely agree. But I never saw any of the Star Wars before I met you. Not one.
Well, they weren't exactly
Not-
made for you.
No. Well, I was a Star Trek fan, big. I just never saw Star Wars, and so I didn't see Star Wars. The first Star Wars I ever saw was Force Awakens,
Right, that was with me
and that was with you.
and Carrie.
Yep. No, actually, was she there?
Yes.
No.
Oh, you're right.
You're-
Oh,
no.
you're
Force
right.
Awakens. She was gone
No,
by the
you're
time that
right.
came
I didn't
out.
realize you didn't come to that other one because I forget we haven't been
No,
together.
no, no.
always.
She was alive for Force Awakens. It was the next one after that because I remember when we were at the movie theater, we flew everywhere in the same day to see it in the Chinese theater in Arizona. We went to like 3 different states in one day and watched that movie, the one after Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, and
now she's a damn expert. You can snap it
yeah,
off the
because
titles.
I didn't know what I was missing till I actually saw them. So, but that one was weird because they had the scene with the Princess Leia was in a coma, and that was like a shock.
Yeah, it was
we
hard
didn't
for
know
me to
that.
watch that,
Yeah,
exactly.
and we were like, oh my gosh.
I think they did that just to mess with me. So that's why I just got back at them right now. No, I think obviously that was one level of Disney, and,
Yeah.
and since then even, of course, Disney has taken on whole new levels.
Oh, I
of-
know why I brought that up. Because when they were killing off Harrison Ford and, everybody, well, Carrie was supposed to star in the next movie, but she never made it to that. And then, of course, that would have been the end of Princess Leia, probably. But as a new Star Wars fan, I was really upset when they killed off these characters to bring in all the new ones, and I didn't mind the new ones. I didn't mind them at all. But it was, as a new Star Wars fan, I was like, I don't want anything to happen to Han Solo or, Princess Leia or Mark Hamill's
I'll
character.
just-
I did
have
not
an-
want that.
The easy way to explain that is, in my opinion, they are the heart of the storyline.
Absolutely, and I
and-
was a new fan,
And
so
that-
I can
and
imagine.
it would be
how
like
they-
taking William Shatner out of Star Trek, which of course happened also, which to me is almost impossible. Now I know they're trying to keep these things alive, but the guy's alive still, so why don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I would never pull William Shatner out of Star Trek. I refuse to watch Star Trek without William Shatner. It's not happening.
Right.
So anyway, Carrie's attitude though with all of this was early on, especially after it turned into number 2. So when we get into Empire, it's still pretty cool because they're paying great money. Everybody's by the time you get into number 3, in between, Carrie's playing other parts, and it is a little bit. I'm sort of being typecast as Princess Leia. And at the time, she and Mark in particular, I don't think I ever heard Harrison say much one way or the other. They felt like they're being typecast. Now Harrison, of course, was doing Indiana Jones and other things, and so he was, getting into other roles that
Right.
were equally big.
But I'm going to play devil's advocate there because I say this all the time. People in our business do not get paid zillions of dollars because they're so fabulous. You have to give up a lot. And so they were all paid really well. And if you're going to get typecast, at least you got compensated for it.
Well, let me put it. I wasn't finished with the story.
Yeah.
So yes, there was like this. It's kind of. I've sort of like been. Everybody walks up to me and says, "Aren't you Princess Leia?" or whatever. So I know Mark and her were both not thrilled about that. They were tolerating it, but later, and you could see this in Bright Lights, the documentary.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden changed one day when she was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. I am Princess Leia. I own it.
She's the steward of Princess Leia.
She
So,
and
yeah.
Princess Leia are one.
Mhm.
And that was why, and when she had that epiphany, and it was actually not so much later, that was cool because then it was fun to be Princess Leia, and all of a sudden Princess Leia, anything that came out of Carrie's mouth, was Princess Leia. And in the video, that on the song "Carry On" that we've posted, you'll see at the end. There's a bunch of pictures of this march on Washington, and they had chosen Carrie's picture to be the face of the resistance on the March on Washington. And whatever your views are on the March on Washington, it's not really the point of why I'm bringing this up. Obviously, the point of view there, you could just show the visual. I mean, anyway, the point is that they're actually just bring up the still. Just pause, scroll through the song, and bring up the one picture of Carrie being the face of the resistance. Yeah, we don't have to. We're not going to play it, but you'll scroll and find it. Anyway, you know, I was totally thrilled that they did that. Not because I was right, just like that one. Let's just show that. Don't play it. We're just going to show it. So there is one of the examples of the March on Washington. They had Carrie's face and a sign in front of it.
And this is after she was gone.
And she was gone.
Yeah.
But the point is that they had chosen. You know, here's another one coming at you. Switch. And that's Carrie's women's place is in the resistance. You know, the old expression, woman's place is in the barefoot in the kitchen and pregnant or something. That was a play on words. But I loved that they chose her to be the face of the resistance, and I think she would have been thrilled. And I'm not saying I don't even know what half those people were doing out there. I don't frankly care, because it is, as Americans, it's our right to be able to protest peacefully and express ourselves peacefully, and
yes.
if we can't do that, we can't do anything.
Well, that's not what we're seeing right now. So you have to really
I'm not talking
hammer on
by
that
the way,
word,
I don't
that's
care.
important.
I'm not trying to make a political statement here. I'm merely saying whatever the politics were, I was proud to see her as the face of it, regardless. And if they want to choose her as here's the last one I think that we use. But I do use these in the video, and I think isn't that cool? Like under her arm, on her bicep.
I liked Rosie the Riveter.
Well, that's a mock-up.
I know. That's why I'm saying that's the one that I thought was.
But
clever.
but having the tattoo of the resistance under her sleeve is cool. And this last little artifact for show and tell. This was Carrie's lightsaber. She knew that I collected weapons, and so this is. I'll try to hold it a certain way. And Dawn's got a close up there, Buck. Anyway, that is her lightsaber, and actually, it's got her name. Actually, it's hard to see. Go really close, zoom in really close. I'll move around, but you can see right there. I have to turn it. You can see her name is actually laser etched into the side of this, and that's actually engraved into it. So it's kind of to me, this is a special thing because Carrie didn't really get to wield, a lightsaber ever, and it's my view. I'm not positive, but there was talk that Carrie would have been the last Jedi and maybe wielded the lightsaber and chopped down the last of the evil force of the people, the Darth Vader followers. I feel like, as you said, if you take out the heart of a storyline, and the characters usually are the heart of it. Obviously, the dialogue's important, but those characters were, the struggles between them, the romances, the finding out Darth Vader's the father. All of that is a story that everybody was just dying to know the answer to. It's a soap opera, and they're just waiting for the outcome of this whole thing. And as we learned all those things, and then they eventually just sort of drifted off and left those characters in the side. When we finally came back and they put them back in the movie, I was at the Grauman's Chinese Theater with Carrie. And when Carrie and the and I don't remember the first shot, but I think the three of them, or at least two of them, came on the screen together at one time, and the entire theater erupted in glee. Well, what does that tell you? I mean, it's like they are, so intricately connected to this story that you cannot extract it and expect not to have the fans pissed off. When Carrie passed away, Disney had contacted the family and said, we're going to drop, Carrie entirely from the film. I was like, and why would you do that? They were, well, it's like we have to do CG. We don't know what footage we have. We obviously can't shoot anything else. They really were seriously going to drop it. And I was like, as Carrie's brother and a fan of the original Star Wars story, it would be a crime to cut her out of the story. You have, from my side of the world, my full approval of keeping her in this storyline. because it's connected so deeply to the storyline that you cannot extract her from it. And it was interesting because Disney was very resistant. This turned into a big internet fuss for a while. And a couple of people at Disney still are pissed off that I stuck my big nose into it. But I am Carrie's brother, and I do know she belonged in there, and that's the way I feel about it, and too bad if you don't like it.
Well, I thought they did a great job with the CG.
Well, what happened is, they came back, from the original poor line of thinking, and, they did a really good job. Now, of course, that really had to do with the director more than it did, because he went way out of his way to, put those pieces together to make all of that work. So whoever was involved in the thinking to straighten that out, thank you. That's one thing I'll thank them for, because they did capitulate and decide to keep Carrie in that story to the end. I'm not thrilled about the coma scene, but it was what it was.
I know. It was not. It was a shock, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I think they may have put that in there just to get back at me for making her put her in the movie. It might have been there just to mess with me. What's next on the film clip, Orinja?
Bright Lights in London.
I did find a little snippet of Carrie in the metal bikini, like behind the scenes.
Oh,
footage of that, if you'd like.
Nice.
Well, for those of you that don't know, I have Carrie's metal bikini. We didn't want to drag it out there because it's a little fragile, but you could see the picture behind Kat there is Carrie in the metal bikini, and we're gonna run a little BTS here. It sounds like. So let's.
I love that. I love that.
Go for it. So there's Carrie in the metal bikini for about 2 seconds. Turn it way up, Buck.
To Jabba the Hutt's palace. It's full of unusual and wonderful things.
Yeah, that sounds right. Jabba's Palace. That's on State 8.
Way up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Bye.
It's.
May the force be with you.
Okay. You want? Oh, I'm going to talk over it. Okay. Well, there it is. You could see the bikini, which was super uncomfortable, and you could see right there. There's nothing underneath there, so. As Carrie put it, her areolas were rubbing against the, what is not soft. So you're jumping and running around like this, and of course it's irritating the heck out of your nipples, just to be frank. What's funny about all of this is, you're choking a giant slug. I mean, whoever thought you'd go to the London Dramatic Academy and learn how to choke a giant slug? Yeah. So you could see that that Carrie is choking a giant slug, which is something she wasn't really accustomed to. I don't think she'd actually choked anything before. But Jabba was really a cool character. But I mean, imagine the mind. Look, see the 10 people in the background. They're the ones manipulating him. See all those people in the back? They're the ones actually moving him around. So anyway, some fun little behind-the-scenes stuff. Now what we're going to run for you is this was the next video is the, which one? So this was a really fun little, when Carrie was in London working on the last Star Wars. This is her with Griffin. Some footage that we didn't use in Bright Lights. It's a fun little conversation with the two of them. So we're going to hit that for you.
Carrie?
Well, now that's from Bright Lights, this shot right here. We didn't use that take?
Where are you?
Oh, okay.
Bubblehead.
You have glitter.
I dressed as a hooker for my old friend.
You're worth a fortune. Oh, wait. So how's the new Star Wars going?
I'm not allowed to answer
that's
that.
right, you
No, and this is not about the movie I'm doing, but the movie I'm doing,
The science fiction thing you're doing now?
No, I'm just Star Trek. I'm doing Star
Yeah, okay,
Trek.
great.
Me
I
and
hear it's
Bill
great.
Shatner humping our balls off. So now so they have a stand-in for me. I don't realize it's my stand-in because she's a little old lady. Yeah, I did have an attractive stand-in when I was attractive.
When the movie came out, everything changed so fast.
Yeah.
So fast for both of us.
We got
Coming
famous early.
really early. And I would, come
Get
back
it
from
out
my
of the
waiting
way.
jobs and have this surreal existence with, whatever eagle was at the house or whatever movie star or.
It was that. Remember the one that it's not Don Henley?
No, it was
sent me
Glenn
a
Fry
stereo.
sent you the stereo. And you didn't even know him.
I didn't know him exactly.
And
I
he
met
sent
him on
an
a plane.
entire huge hi-fi thing, had it delivered
Yeah,
as just a how do you do.
he wanted to know me.
Yeah.
I liked the life that you got with Star Wars. The money and the fun and the, attention. And one thing my next shrink said to me was that the reason that so many people want to be actors is they confuse attention with love.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I understood it to be some weird thing because of my mom and all of that, but I did like the life. And so I did as little as possible to deserve it. But I do like the one-woman show thing that I do, and now that's also why Debbie likes me.
Go figure. Well, you
I'm
fulfilled
doing
her.
a nightclub act.
You fulfilled her wish.
That's what she wanted. It is what she wanted.
Yeah.
She's seriously excited
Just took
about
you a
it.
while to get there.
I know I didn't want to go. There is a thing in me. I think there really was a thing, and it was like, I am not gonna fucking do this. You will not get me on stage in Vegas. It was an act of rebellion, and if you want to really fuck with your parents, don't play Vegas. They hate that.
Okay. So actually, there's a lot going on there. So taking it from the back forward, she's referring to when Carrie and I were growing up. I don't know if you have any of those stills, but we performed on the stage with my mother a lot, starting when we were actually like 10. And very early on, we were pretty good at it, and people loved us, and we were cute. It's the time when the Osmonds were popular. Vegas was offering Carrie and I our own opening act across the street, and Carrie wanted to do it. My mother said, "No way are you guys going to do any of this without you're going to be under my wing. I mean, we're 11 years old. You're going to go out there and do that?" No, she knew there was treachery in that. So he's got a picture for us here. So heading over to the playback screen. So there's the three of us performing at the Desert Inn. And so this is what Carrie's referring to right here. She's talking about the times. And Debbie really wanted us to continue performing with her. And it was cute. And I was the one that wasn't that excited about it. At my age, one of the big setbacks was the idea that you had to wash your hair every night. Now, at 11 years old, that's virtually impossible to tolerate. That was the first time. I was about 9 or 10 at that point. And you could see Carrie's pulling me off stage. That was, of course, shenanigans that was choreographed. And there's Carrie in her mod outfit. That's a Bob Mackie, by the way. My costume was designed by me. Carrie had Bob Mackie. And, that's some favoritism my mother was showing early on. But Carrie is initially not thrilled about wanting to do this. And then I remember when she came out on stage, it was like, oh, wow, this is really kind of cool. And then she started really loving to perform. And then when we were given this opportunity to go play on our own, and my mother said no, Carrie was really mad. And then Carrie decided that the best way to get back at my mother for all of this intervening is to not perform or sing ever again. And so there is a blackout that occurs right around the late teens, and she goes into the acting thing, and you see Star Wars and all that. And Carrie doesn't do any singing for a good 30 years. And my mother was heartbroken because my mother really thought she had an amazing voice. For those of you that haven't heard Carrie sing, we've posted a few things on Patreon of Carrie singing, and she's a belter. I mean, she had a fantastic voice, and so her getting back at my mother really, you could see what she said right then. She's like, that's how you get back at your parents, is not playing Vegas. Well, that's not a joke. She's saying it lightheartedly, but she's absolutely serious. And there she is. You can see her. That was her. It was a little later when we got offered the show. This was the first time we played. This was absolutely, so this went on for several years, much to my chagrin. But Carrie, of course, was digging it. And the good news is that when I was like, look, first of all, the way I got out of this wasn't that I was whining about it, because makeup and hair every day. It was my voice started to change.
Yes.
And for men, I don't know if it happens to girls, but for men, you all of a sudden, literally an octave.
Well, the first time it's when something drops. And the second time it's just, 13, 14, 15, the voice starts to change.
Well, my voice, I couldn't stay on. I would just out of nowhere drop an octave. So it became decided that I would just play guitar.
Your voice went in the 80s is very different from the voice that you have now.
Yes.
Because your voice now is much lower.
Well, now is a different. It continued, and this happened to my dad too. Your voice comes down. But from the first picture you just saw to the picture later, like he's got the picture up right now of that, my voice was very much solid at that point. I could sing no problem. In fact, I was a bit of a tenor, and then all of a sudden, literally, I had a literal full octave. And it was like, I'd be cruising along and it would just drop. So the bottom line here is that Carrie has decided the way she would get back at my mother was by not singing anymore. It wasn't just Vegas. I mean, that was a funny way to say it. Now, before that, she was also talking about, celebrity and what it's like to be a celebrity and how you feel like you're getting love, with people. And then she also mentions to Griffin there about the Don Henley thing. And that, of course, finds its way into Postcards from the Edge when Don Henley sleeps with Carrie and Beverly D'Angelo on the same day.
Yeah.
And that's been dramatized in the movie Postcards. But Carrie, of course, scared the hell out of Don Henley, but stayed friends with J.D. and other people that were in the Eagles. And so we had an interesting relation because she never was friendly with Don after that. I don't know why, but... when you sleep with somebody's best friend and that person on the same day, that usually is a bad character reference, at least.
But it made for a great scene in
thank you for the
Postcards from the Edge.
opportunity to make the movie better, Don.
Come to think of it, when we were talking about how she got typecast and whatnot, if that hadn't happened and her acting career was just like so jam-packed, she might have never written the great books that she has written. And I actually read Carrie's books, and I never had seen Star Wars, but I read her books, and I loved Wishful Thinking. I loved Bright Lights. I loved Postcards from the Edge. All really great stuff that might not have happened had she, not had the time.
I think our life had sufficient other drama to write about. Carrie, was exposed to what I was exposed to and absorbed it very differently than I did. But our life was full of drama. There was plenty to write about. We had a lot of colorful characters. Hey, Seth, would you bring me up a couple of the lightsabers? Those lightsabers. We're going to do something. We should do a little, would you like to do that little tribute thing that we do with the lightsabers?
Sure.
I mean, have you got anything else you want to run, or can we go?
Yep, we're up to giveaways.
Okay, this is prior to giveaways. We are going to give some things away, but we like to do a little remembrance of you. Where did I get the fourth one from? Oh, that's a new one. Does that one light up? No, I actually. Let me see that one. First of all, they're not all going to work because they've been sitting for like forever. But this one here, this one works. So let me wait. Come out, join us. See if they light up. Let me have that.
Okay, you could turn me on, as they say. Oh.
You got to find the right switch. At least we're going to do it too. There's a green one that lights up, the little one. So what
I love these.
Now watch when we touch. Well, you got to find the switches. Those two I've never put batteries in over there. But you can bring them up anyway. Let's just come up. Whoever wants to come up, just come up. All right. Now I
You
can turn
get your baby
hey,
saber.
Bring it up. That one comes on for sure. You don't know what, you're not good with buttons. This
There you
one.
go. I love these. They're very. This is very probably as close to what they had in the movie because they're.
Oh, mine is green.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. Let me look at you.
Be Obi-Wan right before he gets.
See, now that's a red. That would have been a red one. Let me see that one for a second. This one, I don't think I've ever put the batteries in this one.
Well, of course not. That's
Here.
the dark side, the red ones. I wouldn't give it power either.
Well, if you remember what happened, see, it says right here, insert batteries. Anyway, we could still do it though.
Do you know who is great with these? Is Kristen Alderson, who played Star Manning on One Life to Live. She can saber fight like crazy. It's like a beautiful dance she can do with
Well,
these.
I'd like to take. So come up and we just put them all together.
That's right.
And we say, Carrie, we miss you, we love you, and we're doing a little tribute to you down here on Earth. So we hope you're watching us right now, and just shine your funny little face down on us right now.
Yay.
May the force be with us.
May the force be with us all. Everyone watching,
Join
exactly.
us in that tribute,
yes,
everybody.
indeed. I love it. So we're going to give stuff away now, which I'm very excited about. You know I love this part. We have prizes.
You live for this part.
I do live for this part. If you are new to the show, if you made a comment and after you came into the room, you were added to our prize wheel, and it's a randomizer. So we'll cut to the wheel so you can see. And you want to take that? Thank you.
Well, just to make the noise a little
And
more.
Kyle will spin that wheel, and where it lands, nobody knows. But we have prizes on that wheel. And
By the way, I think
we have two
everybody-
wheels tonight.
I think everybody
3.
should have a lightsaber. If you're a Carrie fan, you need to go find yourself.
Where do people get these?
Well, now these are really high-end lightsabers. So
Yeah,
This
and-
one, I mean, if you look at this, it's made after the real deal, and it looks damn close.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's in many ways, it's a very interesting replica. So they make really good replicas here of the real deal. So I would encourage people that are fans to get them one of these things, because you never know when you're going to want to fend off somebody from the dark side, but also you never know when you're going to want to do a tribute like we just did. And one of the things that I did that was one of the most magical things, we're in front of the Grauman's Theater. Hand me that little thing right there to your right.
The thing.
To your right,
This
the
one?
card. There you go.
Okay.
So this is the plaque that Carrie has next to my mother's footprints and handprints in Grauman's. And it says, you can see right there, beloved by fans. You can see dedicated Carrie, TCL Chinese Theater, Star Wars home since '77. We love you, Carrie, because Carrie and I stood on this exact spot in '77 when the first Star Wars opened, and we were stunned by what we saw, and because we had gone to the screening, but we couldn't believe we saw people sleeping on the sidewalks. Anyway, a lot of the fans from the different rebel organizations and fan groups came to this tribute when they did this, and the Salvation Army band played Leia's theme, and we all
they did a great job.
They do it every year for us.
They're so nice.
They're
those-
such nice people, but they're big Star Wars fans, and we're big supporters of Salvation Army. So support the Salvation Army. It's an awesome group of people. Been around for literally century plus. Anyway, we all put our lightsabers up to heaven and wished Carrie well. So it's a fun tradition, and we'll continue to do it right here on the Cat and Tive Live.
Yeah, and we are going to carry on. Now, we're also going to give stuff away. So stay tuned, because if you were in this room, you are on that wheel. Meaning, if you commented and your name came up, then you were automatically entered on the wheel. We're going to spin it 6 times, and then we have another wheel after that, I believe. Am I right?
We have a super wheel?
We have a
the
super
super
wheel.
wheel.
So if you donated on the last show, then you are on the super wheel. That's a smaller wheel, of course, and have a better chance, and there's a super prize. And then do we have a third wheel today? No, just 2. Are you sure about that? Okay. So there we go. Let's begin, because you are the wieners. Here we go. Spin it, Kyle, and let's see who won.
What's the first gift?
They're all the same.
All the same. Oh.
Okay. Amy Hinton, you have won. All the prizes are the same, so we're just going to keep spinning,
Wait,
right?
they're not the same envelopes?
No, they're gonna. Yes, we have enough to give the same envelopes because Carrie's featured prominently on those envelopes.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
here
All
we
right.
go.
Oh.
So Amy Hinton.
Okay,
You
so
have
Amy,
one.
come to me.
Yep.
So, Amy, you're getting the Carrie part of the full set. So this got a picture of Carrie right here.
And the
from
stamp?
This was from her story. Yeah, and the stamp, of course, is not her. The stamp is actually, this is the most valuable of all of them because that's Carrie with R2 on the stamp, and it's also Carrie's envelope. And so you're getting 3 really cool envelopes from the set. So that's a fun thing, and you're getting a really fun little picture of Carrie. So that's what you get. You just have to send your name and address to
Right. Please, all winners that I'm about to, including you, Amy, if you could write us at catandtoddlive@gmail.com. Make sure we get your address, okay, so we can send those out to you on Monday, which is tomorrow. I'm getting a big haircut tomorrow.
Thank God.
I'm getting a shag. First
Thank
one in my whole
God,
life.
because I
I'm
mean,
stuck in the 60s.
just
Okay,
unruly.
let's go to the next prize. Let's do it. And
Same price, so it's the same envelopes,
now
right?
we're just going to spin, 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 because each one of you is going to receive Whitebird. That's
I've
a Knight
seen
Rider
that.
fan.
All
All
right.
right.
You get the
Woo!
sa- you get the envelopes?
You get the same thing. You get the envelopes and the picture of Carrie. Now these are collectibles, so remember that. And congratulations, Whitebird. Make sure you write us catandtoddlive@gmail.com and give us your address. Now we're going to go to the third winner. Kyle, go ahead and spin, and we need to see the. There you go. It is. And you do not have to cut back to me because we're going to be spinning 3 more times. Sal Harcourt, make sure you write us. Congratulations, you are a wiener. And please make sure you write us at catandtoddlive@gmail.com. Give us your address. Congratulations. We are moving on to the next. Winner. Oh. Doo-Wop King 2011.
Doo-Wop, baby.
Yep, you are the next winner. Congratulations, and we need your
Now,
address.
we're going to need their address
Yeah,
for sure. I don't remember seeing
no,
that.
no.
It's a new viewer.
No,
So-
it's not a new viewer.
Oh.
He's been around, and he's had some
Shows you
interesting
what I
things
know.
to say, and we appreciate you. So go ahead
I'll
and
just stick to
that's
operating
right,
my
Cat and
lightsaber.
Todd live at gmail.com. Doo-Wop King, and we need your address. Next winner is. I love the sound effects of that. Is Deb Tyler. Congratulations, Deb. You are a winner, and I have your address, so I will just send that to you because you are in our database, and congratulations. Thanks so much. The next winner is. Ruby Putnam, a first-time winner that I'm aware of. Ruby, congratulations and welcome to the show. You have won the same set of the collectible envelopes, and Star Wars envelopes. And so we need you to send us your address at catandtoddlive@gmail.com. And how many more spins do we have on this?
That's it.
That's it. Okay, we're going on to the super wheel. Those of you who donated on the last show, as you can see, people donate throughout the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate it so much because, as you can see, this is a pretty high production show and it takes a village, so we appreciate that. And what we are going to do is spin this wheel. Now we have one winner on this wheel. Everyone that has donated last week is on tonight's wheel, so the wheel is smaller, and we wish you the best of luck, everybody. Thank you so much. And Kyle, let's go for it now. Go ahead and spin it. It's on its way. Thank you so much. It is. Oh, it's Richard Klebe. You won by a hair's breadth because did you see how close it was to the edge?
Now he's getting.
So you're getting the super prize from
full, come to me.
Oh
you're
my!
Getting the full set. How many? 15. 17 of the envelopes.
All the characters.
It's all the characters. You can look on our website and see this picture.
Yeah, because these we sell, and they're limited in production. So this is the only place that I'm aware of you can get these.
They're nowhere else. But
so
you're getting the full set of 17.
But they're what? How much are they on the site?
I believe they're $25 per envelope
on the site. So you have 17.
The whole set is $99 right now, special.
Oh, so there's a sale
so it's
for Star Wars.
Oh yes,
for
because
Star
of
Wars.
what the show. So
You're also
but
getting
it's
from
usually
Carrie's-
200, I think. Yeah.
You're getting out of Carrie's collection of books. It's the first edition of Wishful Drinking. And in here are a lot of Star Wars stories, by the way, I happen to recall. But also in here is something that we were just talking about earlier, and I didn't know how to do it properly, but here it's printed for us. So there were some observations that Carrie in the audition was speaking with an English dialect. And this was one of the things they taught her at the London Dramatic Academy, and I'm not going to do it as well as her, but they taught her this is one of the ways you learn how to speak properly. Now, in the old Hollywood days, when we switched over from silent movies to talkie movies, they had diction coaches come in and talk to all of the actors. And this is what the movie Singing in the Rain is about a little bit, because if you remember, Gene Hagen was not able to, I can't stand them. So I can't stand them. They were like, no, I can't. Can't. And they were trying to get her to do proper pronunciation for talkies. So in England, they kept this grand tradition going all the way when Carrie was in school. And this is one of the little poems that they made you say. All I want is a proper cup of coffee, made in a proper coffee pot. You cannot, believe it or not, I want a cup of coffee in a proper coffee pot. Tin coffee pots and iron coffee pots, they're no use to me. If I can't have a proper cup of coffee in a proper coffee pot, I will have a cup of tea. Now, Carrie could say that unbelievably fast. She had it memorized. You could say as fast. But allegedly, that was what was influencing her. Now, you notice how even I had to have a little bit of an English accent to say it, right? In a proper cup of coffee, in a proper cup of pot, I'll have a proper cup of tea. I mean, it almost sounds like you're speaking with an English dialect. So there you have it. But anyway, that's a lot of those stories are in this book. Now, Carrie actually in this book, Wishful Drinking, is talking obviously about her sort of rehab days. But of course, it's got Eddie in here, and there's her little fat baby brother, and all of that. So there's a lot of fun stuff in here. Because, see, it talks about, anyway, I was about 2 when my brother was born. And my father so adored my Todd that my brother Todd was named for him. Now, perhaps my father didn't realize that in the Jewish faith, it's considered bad luck to name a child after someone who's still living. Ha! Silly superstition. Or so they thought. Because a month later, Mike Todd took off in a private plane in a rainstorm, and the following morning, Elizabeth was a widow. Well, naturally, my father flew to Elizabeth's side, gradually making his way around slowly to her front. Anyway, this is a great book, I think one of Carrie's best. And, it talks about how she won Bipolar Woman of the Year, and underwear discovered in space, George Lucas says, I told you so. So there's a lot of Star Wars stuff in here. I think there's a few chapters. I haven't read this book in a long time, but you also get a couple of pictures. So between the envelopes and the book, that's one heck of a win. I personally would never have given away that much. Anyway, I'm joking.
Okay, listen, I just want to say thank you for hanging in there with us. I know all our shows are long, but we have so much to share, so thank you so much. I'm going to give this to you. And what I want to say is, on behalf of everyone it takes to put this show on, we want to thank you for spending your Sunday with us. Someone, before you even read the proper pot of coffee, Scarecrow in the chat said proper pot of coffee. So that must be.
I can't get a proper
if I can't get a cup of
coffee, I'll get a pot of tea.
There you go. But on behalf of Ryan, Kyle,
he's got something to introduce.
Seth, who has something to say,
well,
but let me.
I just wanted to add in before we go to continue with the Star Wars fun after the show. If you head on over to the Debbie Reynolds Hollywood Studio Store Facebook group, it's a group on Facebook exclusive to the folks here who watch the show and to all of us. What we do there is we put up really unique items in these things called a claim sale. And we have one actually going up right. It's on the screen right now. There it is. It's on the Debbie Reynolds Hollywood Studio Store page. You just go click join. We will let you right in, and it begins at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Lots of rare Star Wars stuff.
Today. I didn't know.
All
Thank
from
you.
Carrie and Todd's
Yeah.
collection, and it's really fun stuff. So go take a look. Ryan put this one together, and it's a lot of incredible stuff. So go have a look, and thanks for joining us.
Yes, and so let me finish giving the credits because it really is a lot of work to do this show, and I don't want to leave anybody out.
Well, is it Ryan got anything to add?
Ryan and Kyle, I'll ask Ryan, and I just want to thank today Buck and Don and Seth and our guests, and we have a new guest. I'm not sure who it is, but we're going to find out in just a minute. Thank you so much. You're awesome, and we love spending our time with you and sharing this glorious history with you. It's just, it's what we love. So, and again, thank you all for coming to my show last week that came and who bought tickets. I just appreciate you so much. Everybody, may the 4th be with you, and may the Force be with you. And we will see you next week. Thanks, guys. Oh, on Saturday night, our usual
Normal
time.
Saturday.
Yes. Oh, if you donated tonight, you will be on next week's Super Wheel, and make sure you watch The Crawl because we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Oh, it's day. Have a great day.
Hit it.
Huh? Done? What's that?
Just stay there. We'll kneel down here.
Okay. Hi. How are you?
Michael.
Kat, nice to meet you.
Where's your phone? Give her your phone. We'll take a picture.
Come down here.
Well, I have more. I have more fun stuff for you. So